the largest rectangle on Earth. This rectangle exists on the globe as a matter of fact. It is so huge that it looks a little inflated because of spherical geometry. The frame lines look curved outward inevitably. Conversely, the curvature itself testifies its enormity. This huge regular shape, which is physical, real, and measurable, exists on Earth for a long time. But it has been unknown to us simply because it is not on the land. This is going to be revealed for the first time in our history thanks to Google Earth. Apart from this rectangle itself, we can see many lines crisscrossing around. Of course, they are also artificial, possibly depressed tracks. They don't look like grooves laboriously dug up. They look as if left by some huge and heavy vehicles which traveled around on the ocean floor. Some people might say that this rectangle is not intentionally made, but was accidentally produced by crisscrossing lines. Part of it might be accidental indeed, but mostly intentional. In other words, it was produced according to intelligent design. Exactly 90 degrees turn of tracks testifies it is intentional. Even if the formation of rectangle is accidental, the lines themselves are artificial, that is, intentionally made by some intelligent beings. I know many viewers desperately try to cling to a theory, which I call survey ship theory. This theory explains those tracks as the result of sonar survey mechanism. I already talked about this theory in CFR Archaeology 9. So please refer to that video before you mention it here. Firstly, it is technically very unlikely that sonar scanning has the width of more than 10 kilometers. And it is still more unlikely for a survey ship to make a huge rectangle here. For what purpose does a survey ship carry out such a costly project in terms of money and time? What meaning does it have at all? What's the point? If it was done by humans, it must be understandable by human logic. Just think of a track which stretches more than 2,000 kilometers as straight as a ruler. It is unrealistic for a survey ship to make a right-angled turn abruptly. Those who want to show that this rectangle is a result of sonar mechanism, that is, of human technology, can come up with the official record of such surveillance as a conclusive evidence. Such data must be available somewhere because it doesn't belong to secret matters at all. I gladly welcome such data. Needless to say, not only this huge rectangle, but also other lines around it belong to the same intelligent race. And it is highly unlikely that most of them are traces of activities of human beings. Do we, human beings, have any counterpart on our territory, the land? Do we have any traces of activities left by human beings on the land that is as large as 2,000 kilometers by 1,400 kilometers? We are not accustomed to this global scale. Something which is on global scale is in another dimension, that is, the space of spherical geometry. Most of the traces of human technology come into plane geometry with plenty of allowance. We are living in Euclid geometry. We don't have to care about spherical curvature at all. It is in fact very difficult to imagine such entity belonging to spherical geometry. But we can't even feel such difficulty itself because it surpasses our instinctive perception and educational knowledge so disproportionately. Simply put, the civilization which left this rectangle appears to belong to quite another world from ours, human civilization. When it comes to other civilizations, people often talk about so-called ancient civilizations or lost civilizations. But most of them seem to take it for granted that people in such other civilizations are also humans like us. Some lost civilizations must have been human civilizations supported by human beings. But they seem to be rather minor civilizations. Major civilizations, such as one which produced this 2,000 kilometers long rectangle, were or are supported by intelligent beings other than humans. They are completely different from us. They are truly alien to us. They live in another world. The largest traces on the land of Earth would be Great Wall of China. But it has very irregular lines and distribution, which is far from geometrical when seen macroscopically. There is no straight line at all when we look at it on a map, and the line is broken erratically in many places. On the other hand, the rectangle under the sea in question here has 4 sides of straight lines, 4 angles of almost 90 degrees and track width of about 10 kilometers or more. How many kilometers does the width of Great Wall have? I tell you what. The width of Great Wall is not so great. Great Wall is about only 5 meters wide. No wonder that Great Wall could not be recognized even by Chinese astronauts in spite of Great Wall official myth. Then how many meters wide are the rectangle's lines in the sea? They are about 10,000 meters wide. Now we have 2 kinds of line here. One is on the land and is about 5 meters wide, and the other is in the sea and about 10,000 meters wide. The former, the land line, is not straight and is broken at many points. The latter, the seafloor line, is straight and has a distinctive rectangular shape. Of course, we must not forget that Great Wall is a collection of linear buildings, while what we see in the sea now is not such a solid construction, but only traces which something left behind. But we must consider what left such traces. It has to be something gigantic and consequently more sophisticated than its traces, doesn't it? Suppose you see some tracks on the beach. You realize some vehicles left them behind, considering the situation. You think some people passed there by their vehicles. In the same way, you see some huge tracks on the seafloor. You are obliged to think something passed there. Yes, something enormous must have passed there.